wasn't yours. I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going back to who I was before. I like me better, I like me better.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So you see the title of the video, you might be like, ooh girl, now we being messy on a Friday. But in my defense, this is actually a trend that's going on social media right now that brands are doing. Now you might see that and you're like, wait, brands are acknowledging products that they don't, or they regret releasing, stuff like this. I was on social media, TikTok, Instagram, and I saw brands posting products that we regret releasing. And I had the same thought, like, wait, what? Are we having a little accountability, a little self-awareness? But as you would think, no, that's not actually what the trend is. Basically, what brands are doing is talking about products that they don't regret releasing, but in a you know, like a snarky haha kind of way, right? So I saw Becca Cosmetics doing this trend, and imagine the Take Me Back to Brazil palette, right? So they list it like, this is a product that we regret releasing, and then the reasons that they give for why they regret releasing it is like, we regret releasing Take Me Back to Brazil because it's just way too colorful, because the shadows are just way too blendable, because it just gives you way too nice of an eyeshadow finish, stuff like that, right? Like, you get the point of what it is. I mean, okay, I guess, if you want to participate in that. But I saw that and I thought, well, what if we actually talked about products that brands should probably regret releasing? That's just how we are over here. So if you guys want to see that, then let's go. So the first one, Morphe Cosmetics. Now Morphe, they've had their issues in the past, but they've had a long run in the beauty community. They still to this day have a pretty good name, probably just on a different platform is where you hear it more, that platform being TikTok. But one product, I feel like if Morphe ever looked back and was like, kind of probably shouldn't release that, it is the Fluidity Full Coverage Foundation. If you guys remember, that was back when all the companies were competing to be the company that had the most foundation shades, and their thing when they were announcing it is that it came in 60 shades. So, you know, you hear that, it's gonna pique interest, because it's like, oh, I should, you know, see if I can find my shade. But then people started trying the foundation out. They started receiving it in PR and stuff like that, and the undertones and the colors of those shades were just all over the place. It was like, y'all just really threw in all the colors of the rainbow with this shade range. It was gray, like brick orange, red, that type thing, yellow, green. And yeah, depending on certain skin conditions you might have, you might actually want products that have some of those, but like some of those undertones, not like straight up yellow or straight up green on your face, which some of them were doing, right? And the other thing that was a problem for that foundation is that it was breaking people out. Like, people were posting pictures of their face, and it was giving like those little small bumps all over the face. And if you guys remember, I didn't even get to the point of trying it out on my face because I swatched it on my chest so I could swatch all 60 shades first, and it completely broke my chest out. And after hearing, you know, that's what it was doing to people's face, and that's what it did to my chest, I was like, I'm not even gonna risk it putting it on my face because I have sensitive skin head to toe. And as you see, like, here we are years later. Now they did have another foundation they came out with that did much better. Like, I actually heard people raving about it. I never tried it out on my channel because I asked if you guys wanted a video on that, and you guys were pretty much like, no. But it didn't do as well. You know, it didn't become an iconic product for the brand, even though like that was kind of them stepping into more complexion products and a little area to play in, and it didn't go well for them. So looking back on it, probably one they should regret. Now, a reason why brands might actually regret releasing a product is because the product releases and it causes a scandal. And for that, we're gonna talk about Tarte Cosmetics, and you guys know it is literally the foundation launch that just rocked the beauty community. I hadn't seen anything like that in the beauty community until they announced that they were launching the Tarte Shape Tape Foundation. Popular concealer. It had people on their toes because like, I love the concealer, so I wonder what the foundation's gonna give me. You guys remember they showed the shade range of the foundations, and it was like people rioted. Like, it was just like a really, because mind you, the shade range of the concealer was already piss poor. So when people saw the foundation, like, I don't know what it is about that time, because it wasn't the first time that a company had like a terrible shade range, but something about it just like sparks a whole new era of the beauty community online, and Tarte was dragged for filth, deservedly so. Is that a word? It is now. influencers were cutting ties. Consumers were saying, I'm never gonna shop them again. People were decluttering their stuff left and right. You definitely saw less and less buzz about Tarte in the beauty community, you know, like less of the trips, because you know Tarte was also a brand that did really nice, really cute brand trips, but they almost became like a liability for content creators. So it's like getting content creators that would go on these type of trips are content creators who don't care about like getting backlash and whatnot in their comments, because you like at that time, you know, if you agreed to do like a Tarte sponsorship or a Tarte trip, stuff like that, you were going to get eaten up. They literally just became like the middle child of the beauty community off that shade range. I don't even really recall how the actual product was received, like the actual formula of it, just because like there was so much more about the actual shade range and whatnot. But if it was anything like the Shape Tape Concealer, you weren't missing out on much. So yeah, y'all should look back on that and say, yeah, we regret that, because it could have been handled differently, it could have been done better, but it wasn't. Okay, now y'all gonna eat me up for this one, but listen, someone's gotta say it, okay? This is someone who has pretty much purchased everything that this brand has ever launched, okay? Y'all be fighting me on that Pro Filter foundation, the original one, but that sits here in my heart, okay? But let me tell y'all something. Fenty Beauty, this product right here, y'all could have kept that. I'm so sorry, but it's so true. Y'all could have kept that. Now, y'all don't really make like the best eyeshadows to begin with, but I can say like that with the Moroccan palette, I believe, this one. They released an eyeshadow palette last year that looks like this. A better quality of eyeshadow, but these little mini snap-on no. There's not even really much to say besides no. Just the color payoff, how it was performing on, how it looked on. Now I did see some nice looks, the thing is I think consistency within these palettes, because it was like some of them and some of the shades on different skin tones, different stuff like that. Okay, it might be cute and whatnot, but like just all together, just no. Which I feel like Fenty kind of knew, because then they came out with this larger palette that has, you know, the same look, stuff like that. But there was a noticeable difference with those eyeshadows compared to the little mini snap ones. It was definitely better in that one. Not great, but still better. Love y'all though. Okay, this brand probably regrets a lot. That is Becca Cosmetics, no shade. But one thing that they really should regret, if you guys caught the video that I did on the downfall of Becca, then I mentioned that there was a time where you could kind of tell things were going downhill for the company, because they were just doing anything. They were throwing anything out there. There was a Chrissy Teigen collab that people were like, I don't really see the correlation here, just besides, you know, she has a popular name. Because the stuff in her collection looked like stuff they had already launched and whatnot. There was nothing that really tied her and her being a model and her being a chef to Becca and like you being cosmetics. But this collab right here, I don't know where the picture is going to be popping up on the video, but like I'm not sure if I'm putting it in the right place. But this collab right here, what was the point of this? If you guys didn't see it when it came out, they did a collaboration with Khloe Kardashian and her best friend Malika. What was the point of this collaboration? Like, again, I get it that we're collabing with them because they are celebrities, they have a big name. Of course, most things that are attached to the Kardashian name are going to sell, so I get that. But like, I mean, at least get the Kardashian or Jenner sisters that have an influence with makeup if we're going to do that. You know, Kim has her own makeup line. They said they're revamping because, you know, she's going to change the West out of her name. Kylie has her own makeup line. I mean, Kylie, out of all the sisters, well, no, Kim and Kylie definitely have influence when it comes to makeup. You know, the amount of Kim Kardashian recreations you've seen, I'm sure you guys have seen a whole bunch of recreations of that blue eyeshadow look that she did with Mario. Kylie, you like her or not, yeah, she's had an influence with lipstick and different makeup eye looks and whatnot. So at least get the sisters that like have an influence when it comes to makeup. Like, you picked Khloe, and you picked Khloe and her best friend, and again, the stuff that you guys came out with looked like products that Becca would normally come out with. You just threw their name on it. And Chloe's best friend is a black woman, but the palette that was supposed to be like catered better for deeper complexions was still giving ash. So again, all of it was just giving very much so thrown together because you have a famous name and hopefully your name will sell the product. Looking back on it, Becca, was it worth it? Also keep in mind, like, you gotta pay these people for this type of collaboration. You're not paying them pocket change. Okay, this next one, as an avid sim player, I still feel some type of way. Becca Cosmetics, if you guys don't remember, earlier last year collaborated with The Sims on an eyeshadow palette. This is what the outside of the palette looked like, and then when you open it, this is what the inside of the palette looked like. Again, if you don't see a pattern here on how a lot of brands should regret the tactic of just collabing with anybody because you have a name and we have the product, so just slap it together and let's sell it. Like I feel like it shows, it's proven that when the connection between the collaboration actually makes sense, it does better, right? I think we're seeing a pattern here of what happens when a brand collabs just because that brand that they're collabing with has a name and they've got the products. Let's just slap together and hope like people pick this up. Like, look at the difference with brands collabing with Jaclyn Hill, Jackie Aina, Carly Bybel, as opposed to like Chloe and her best friend, or Chrissy Teigen, or who else? Or who was it that we saw the other day? Looney Tunes, you know, or the NBA. Like, we're doing it just to do it. We're doing it hoping like your audience will buy it just because it's NBA themed and not because like the collaboration actually makes sense, that type of thing. So when I saw what the inside of that looked like, because again, when I saw like the outside, I saw that they were collabing, I was like, yes, Sims has makeup in the game. You can put MAC makeup on the Sims in the game. So it makes sense, and it would actually be a cool collaboration if the inside didn't look like every other palette that MAC has put out there before. And if the inside didn't even make sense with the colorful imagery of the Sims. Like, that's what happens when you make collaborations just to make them. You don't actually, tie the two into each other. That's what happens. So MAC, you've shown that you can do collaborations that are actually good before. So if you want to run it back on the Sims, go ahead and do that, because that one, y'all should have left that in the vault. Okay, this next one, I feel like any brand that can raise their hand and say yes that we did this just falls into this one, okay? Any brand that has launched one of those concealer pens, you should regret that. Especially this one here by Jouer, this one here by Milk Cosmetics, and I think it's Makeup Revolution or Revolution Beauty, one of the names that brand has for their products. That one too, okay? Because concealer pens are some of the most annoying products I have ever tried. I don't think I've ever found a concealer pen that I actually liked. The mechanics of just how the product is set up are just annoying. Usually, like, they just gush out too much product and then having to wipe it the way that you're wiping it on your face. And then of course, like, the actual product is touching your face. Whatever's touching your face is still there in it. And then the product, just the whole thing about it. Like, if you've launched that type of product, you should regret it. But I'm going to cut it off there because, can't get too deep into the first installment of this, especially if I don't know if you guys like this type of video. But if you do, let me know if you would like to see a part 2 to this. Let me know in the comments down below what are some products you think brands should have regrets ever releasing. And yeah, that is pretty much it for this video. Make sure to thumbs up, comment, subscribe, turn notification bells down below. Thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.